In this part of video, we will focus on what is two-way, three-way and four-way matching in procure-to-pay cycle, or as it is widely known as P2p cycle. Before diving into the topic, we need to understand two things. First, two-way, three-way and four-way matching is an internal control, and the objective here is to make sure that the invoices which you are paying to your vendors are correct in terms of quantity and amount. Two-way, three-way and four-way matching ensures that you are paying the right amount to your vendor for the quantities or the services which you have actually received. Secondly, we need to know the overview of P2P cycle in order to understand the working of two-way, three-way and four-way matching. P2P cycle is a business process which consists of steps for buying raw material or services. P2P cycle starts with purchase requisition. This is our step 1. Generally, purchase requisition is a document which is filled by an employee who needs raw material which is not available in the stock. Let's say an employee needs 10,000 kg of plastic in order to produce multiple plastic chairs, and we do not have that amount of plastic in our stock. Then in that case, employee will fill out a purchase requisition document and will send this document to purchasing department. Purchasing department will generate purchase order on the basis of purchase requisition document, which will have details like quantity, price, delivery date, purchase order number, vendor details, etc. Let us say quantity on purchase order is 10,000 unit, which is known as quantity ordered, and purchase order price is rupees 50,000. Purchasing department will send the purchase order to the selected vendor. On delivery date, we shall receive the order and the receiving department shall receive it. At this stage, good receipt note, which is also known as packing slip or receiving slip, is generated by the receiving department. Receiving slip will show the number of units received, and in our case it will be 10,000 units, which is quantity received. Once the order is received by the receiving department, it will be inspected by the inspection and quality department. If it matches our standard, inspection document or acceptance document is created, which will show the number of units accepted and the number of units sent back to our vendor because it was not matching our standards. In our case, we are assuming that all the 10,000 units are good and are as per our standards. Then in that case, 10,000 units here are known as quantity accepted. Accounts payable department will receive invoice from vendor. Invoice will show the number of units sold and the price of those units. In our case, 10,000 units shown on the invoice is known as quantity billed, and price of rupees 50,000 on the invoice is known as invoice price. Along with invoice from vendor, accounts payable department will also receive purchase order from purchasing department, receiving slip from receiving department, and acceptance document from inspection and quality department. Now this is the place where the concept of two-way, three-way or four-way matching comes into picture. Before making payment to the vendor, accounts payable department will conduct either two-way or three-way or four-way match depending upon the type of internal control which is selected by the company. Company can select either two-way, three-way or four-way matching as an internal control. Now let us just try to understand this with multiple cases. Let us see the case 1 where company has selected two-way matching. In this case, we will compare quantity billed with quantity ordered and invoice price with purchase order price. We will get quantity billed from the invoice, whereas quantity order will be available from the purchase order. Whereas invoice price is available from the invoice and purchase order price is available from purchase order. And as you know, all the documents are already available with the accounts payable department because they have received everything. Now they are just going to compare. If everything is matching, that means everything is good. In that case, they will simply go ahead and make payment to the vendor. So in this case, everything is matching. Your quantity billed and your quantity ordered is 10,000 units. There is no discrepancy here. Whereas your invoice price and purchase order price is also same, which is 50,000 rupees. So in that case, they will simply make payment to the vendor. Now let us see the second case where company has selected three-way matching. In this case, we will compare quantity billed with quantity ordered, invoice price with purchase order price, and quantity billed with quantity received. So if you focus, you will realize that first two are exactly same as two-way matching. So they are not changing, they are just same. Whereas the third one which is coming into picture is quantity billed with quantity received. So quantity billed again will be getting from the invoice and quantity received will be available from the receiving slip or the good receipt note. Again, this is the document which accounts payable department has already received. In our case, even the quantity billed and quantity received is matching, then accounts payable department will make payment to the vendor. And in the last case, we are assuming that company has selected four-way matching. Now in this case, we shall compare quantity billed with quantity ordered, invoice price with purchase order price, quantity billed with quantity received, and quantity billed with quantity accepted. So again, if you focus here, the first three are exactly matching with the three-way matching. So here the additional matching criteria is quantity billed with quantity accepted. Again, quantity billed will be getting from the invoice, whereas quantity accepted will be getting it from the acceptance document which was sent by inspection and quality department to the accounts payable department. So if everything is matching, then accounts payable department can make payment to the vendor because we are passing the criteria of four-way matching. So now you can understand that how the two-way, three-way and four-way matching is working. It's simple internal control where we are just trying to make sure that we are paying right amount to our vendors and we are not paying for the product which we have not received or service which we have not received. So we want to make sure that we are just paying for the actual quantity which we have received, actual service which we have received.